Africans or even just Caribbean people will often look down on Black Americans. Number one, they will say they lazy, they ghetto. I've heard African parents tell their kids not to date African American men, not to marry them, things of that nature. What are some negative stereotypes y'all heard about Black Americans from your parents, from your friends?
You literally said it all.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like my mom would tell me not to marry that.
Yeah.
She says it all the time.
Even when I hear like African parents say that, it very much sounds like the same rhetoric that a white person would tell their kids. Like, you know, don't marry that Black guy, like he's ratchet, they ghetto. It's crazy to hear other Black people have that type of rhetoric towards you. I do have this conversation a lot with Africans or even just Caribbean people who will often look down on Black Americans. Number one, they will say they lazy, they ghetto. I've heard African parents tell their kids not to date African American men, not to marry them, things of that nature. What are some negative stereotypes y'all heard about Black Americans from your parents, from your friends?
You literally said it all.
That's it?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like my mom would tell me not to marry that.
Yeah.
She says it all the time.
Even when I hear like African parents say that, it very much sounds like the same rhetoric that a white person would tell their kids. Like, you know, don't marry that Black guy, like he's ratchet, they ghetto. It's crazy to hear other Black people have that type of rhetoric towards you. I do.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our honor, praise, and glory to YAHAWAH by Hashem, Yahawashi by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors and blessing to the elders, the apostle of Great Millstone, the water YAHAWAH by Hashem, Yahawashi, for the elders, the apostle on down, for waking me up to the wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding through the spirit, power, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahawashi. Shalom to the few Aki, me and the brothers, the one pushing the truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Whether we might be scattered abroad, they look like the other nation who bloodline go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. Shalom to the Aqua, believe as well, the few Aqua, the sisters, the one repenting, come back in these latter days. And shalom to the little boys and girls, the Lord going to live also in these times to come. With that, I'm going to say shalom. The title, what you got in the video, say how Africans truly feel about Black American, right? So, during the video, what it going into letting you know that Africans don't deal with the so-called Negroes. And on the video, it telling you it's a difference between the so-called African Americans and the regular Africans, because the regular Africans, we are two different dark-skinned people. The so-called Africans, they come from Ham, and the so-called Negro come from Shem, right? So with that being said, that's why you when you dealing with the Africans, man, they don't truly deal with the so-called black man, like so-called black man like that, which the Israelite man. So yes, we are two different people. We don't connect with each other like that. So he telling you in the video that he taught the people all the time about the so-called, well, yeah, he taught, I guess he be coming across Africans and they be basically saying they don't deal with the so-called Negro, and telling their daughters not to date them because they don't like you. They don't deal with you. They don't like you like that, right? Because some of them Africans, they know their history. They know where they come from. They know where you come from. They know we're not the same people. That's why you call them. They just like, for example, at my job, man, the testimony. You know how Jake be talking. You know, we just freely throw the word, you know, nigga around, damn nigga, you know, like that. But there's a guy who working with me. He said it to a real African. Called him a nigga. He didn't call him a nigga as he was disrespecting. They was just having a conversation. And he was like, brought nigga apart, like, nah, nigga, damn nigga, but whatever it was, he put nigga in it. And he got fired just for that. The African went and told it. The man called him a nigga. Say he ain't no, he went none of that. And he went and told, because, you know, we speak among each other and say that, you know what I'm saying? You know, we just look at it as a word we just afraid, we just use, you know? Sometimes, Jake Greed, what's up, nigga? But he called him, he was talking to him, just having a conversation, put nigga in it. The African went and told and got him fired. So they letting you know we're not the same people. Then if you call yourself an African American, those are two different continents that were conquered by two white people, two Edomites, two red men. If you calling yourself an African American, man, so we're not the same. You can go do the history on that, like who conquered Africa, who conquered America. And it gonna let you know where them names where them names come from. But I'm gonna go and dive into the scriptures, man, and go get that. Yeah, it's a difference between us. That's why the original African don't actually get along with you so-called Negroes. Well, they really don't like Israel as a whole, the so-called Negro, Native American, and so-called Latino Hispanic. But right now, the main point that they speaking on is dealing with the Negroes. So, but this Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7, it say, but against any of the children of Israel, the sons of Israel, it say, should not a dog move his tongue against man or a beast, that you may know how that the Lord do put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel. So the Lord just told you right there, he put a difference between us. We share the same skin color, you know, but it's a difference between us. We're not the same people. Then you go into history, you know, shit, nigga, they all came together and had us removed from our nationality. You know, they helped put us in captivity when we went and blend in. During the time, 70 AD, we went down there, when the Romans came to destroy the temple, we went down there, started living amongst them, Ham. You know, the west coast of Africa, later on, they sold you out. Shit, they were able to tell, see, that's how you know we're not the same people, because they were able to tell Esau wasn't going to know who when he rolled down there. Like, damn, who the fuck I'm finna get? Who's supposed to get? Shit, Ham punch your ass out and got rid of you. But run that back. Exodus chapter 11 in verse 7. It said, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue. So these dogs, these heathen nations, they shouldn't even be speaking, you know, against the Israelite. Why? Because these are the Lord chosen people, right? These the people who the Lord highly favor on the earth. So the Lord says, should nobody move their mouth against the children of Israel. To show you that the Lord only dealing with the Israelite. You got the Egyptian right here, and the Lord told you he put a difference between them. He said, but against any of the children of Israel should not a dog move his tongue against man or a beast, that ye may know how that the Lord do put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel, right? We're not the same. As a matter of fact, let's just go back to that video when IUIC went over there to Kenya, over there to Africa, and tried to go preach. Even though they still be coming in the wrong name. But the thing is, they went over there, them niggas stoned, them Africans stoned them, Ham stoned them. That show you then, we're not the same people. Because if they were more as our people, you know, regular Jakes, the Israelites, when they were speaking, just like they do it over here, they probably wouldn't have went through that. You know, you probably would have had a Jake, Kane, Marcus, Scarf, whatever. But they actually went over there, man. Them folks started whipping their ass, tear gas, throwing stone in them, throwing rocks, ran them from up out of there with that. And asking them where they documents at or being over there. Like, who gave y'all permission? They just show you right there, and those were real Hamites, they were real Africans. So the Lord, and right there, they just let you know right there, it was the difference between them when the IUIC went over there with them Hamites. The Lord showed you right there in the video, but it's the difference between y'all. Them are Hamites. You Israelite, they not gonna be with that. Then y'all already come in the wrong name anyway. So the Lord had that to go down like that. But yeah. Alright, now go to Psalms 83, because he also had said how the way the African people tell they daughters and things not to they daughter and stuff not to mess with Israelite mans, so-called black mans, so-called American mans. He said that ain't no different than what the white folk tell their children. All these nations hate you. They hate the Israelite. They not dealing with the Israelites. Right? The proof in the pudding, man. They show you the move from men into society. Shit, the Africans show you when you come around them. Like shit, they showed you IUIC when they went over there to Africa. You know, the Arabs watch you, the East Indian watch you when you all at the store. Japanese, Chinese, you going everybody store, everybody watching you like you finna goddamn steal. Like you finna just come in ramshacked the place. But at the end of the day, it's in their DNA not to like you anyway, to deal with you anyway like that. Like they deal with each other. But go to Psalms real quick, 83. Psalms 83 start from 1. Keep not silence, O Yahawah, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahawah, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lift up thy head. See, they that hate thee. Who hate thee? The African, white man, Chinese, Japanese, Arab, the so-called East Indian. Or India. These folk don't deal with you. It say, they have said, now verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, the Israelites, and consorted against thy hidden ones. It say, so right, they have taken crafty counsel. So they all came up in a skillful, sly, sneaky way that how to cut us off from being a nation. Right? And when you go to the history and Bible, man, we're gonna be up on the captivity on the all nation. I got a picture with an Islamic woman standing over a Negro woman, superior, while she's sitting on the ground, while the so-called Israelite woman, while the Israelite woman sitting on the ground, Indian style, the Islamic Muslim woman standing over her like, yeah. I got a picture with a Edomite standing up. You got the Jake, the Israelite man, sitting down the same way the girl is on the picture, Indian style. He got a hand on his head, like rubbing them on the head like a damn dog. But you see, you got both of them nations standing superior over them, like they superior. Like, yeah, they my pick, you know. Just show you, man. And then we also we was in slavery upon the Egyptian, the Africans had us in slavery. Everybody had us in slavery. So all these nations, at the end of the day, they not dealing with you. But matter of fact, I'm gonna go get a picture, man, to prove a point in a few minutes. Pull a picture up. Go back to Psalms 83. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones, which the Israelites or the hidden ones. Everything about our history from the so-called Negro, Native American, and so-called Latino, Hispanic, they hide it today. They pay millions and $1 trillion to keep the history hidden. Who is the Israelites? The documents, all this information that can prove we're the Israelite. These folks hide it and pay millions of dollars for it. Trillions of dollars just to keep this information away from us. Because they know if they tell us who we are, that's why they don't teach it in school. They only give you, oh yeah, the African came out the ship. That's it. It don't go no farther back than that. The so-called Negro, yeah, they African American, which they know you're not African Americans. They know you Israelites, but they know if they go back before then, they're gonna have to tell you who you are. They're gonna let you know who everybody are. The so-called Negro, Native American, and the so-called Latino, Hispanic. They have came and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. See, they came together and cut us off from being the nation. All these people, man. You heard what he said. The African don't like the Negro like that. He said that ain't no different than what the white man tell they true. He basically saying they say the same thing. Okay, even though you got Jake be out here wilding like, yeah, they like you said, they ratchet, ghetto, but you also have a lot of so-called Negroes over here, which are the Israelites, not ratchet and ghetto. So they just show you, and they still don't deal with them. The ones who not like that, they gonna still tell their daughter, don't marry the nigga, he's a nigga. They do them, we all niggas, and you know, whatever, color, black, African American, they know it's a different, right? They know they enemies to us. That's why both of them saying that. But and you see how they cut us off from being a nation to the point got us worshiping, and they did it through with idol worshiping and all that. Got us fall into all kind of different belief and worship that ain't got nothing to do with YAHAWAH and Yahawashi. All right. It say they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. That the name Israel, Yasharallah, Prince of the Power, be no more in remembrance. And they did it. Cut us off from being a nation. Right? All these people. And I'm going to go snack some up real quick. 1 second. I'll stop. All right, I'm back. Now, I'm going to post this up. Like I said, let us cut them off from being the nation. What I was speaking on when I said you had all the nations came together. Okay, like I said, you got the Islamic woman sitting right there, right, with the so-called Negro woman. You see it, man. That Ishmael, right? The so-called Arab. And you also, I got this picture here, too, with the trying to throw that up. All right, see how you got Ham, right here, the so-called African, whipping on the Israelite man. See, he got the full beard. And you got over here Esau Edom, so-called white man, red man, doing the same thing. So we're going to be in captivity up on all these nations. You see, and America got the pyramid in the back because this America's Egypt all over again. This the final captivity we're going to be in, right? I just want to show them them three pictures with 3 different nations, going against the Israelites. Calling themselves superior, standing over them. Damn, I had the other picture too with the Edomite standing over the Negro man, rubbing him on the head like a damn dog, while he's sitting down on the ground just like the Israelite woman was. But we just seen 3 different nations. But let's read. They keep reading. It say they have said, Psalm 83:4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. They did it, right? They came together, all had the council, and cut us off from being a nation through whatever the advice they came up with, right? Especially through captivity, had us worshiping and they idols and things like that, right? Removing our name, calling us names that not what the Lord named us because we're the Israelites. But those are the curses that these things were going to happen to us. When you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 37, it said we're going to be a byword. So when they were saying cut us off from being a nation, we lost all that. Our culture, who we were, and heritage. We lost everything. The language. We lost the name of our true power, YAHAWAH, Yahawashi. They did a good job of cutting off as being a nation. But, the Lord allowed that to happen for his purpose. So, yeah, kind of slipped my mind what I was to say. But yeah, man, they cut us off from being a nation. They say they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance, right? So if the name no more being in remembrance, that means the Israelites were going to be somewhere during the time period, they weren't going to know who they were. Because during the ancient time, the Israelite, even though when they went in captivity, they knew who they were, even though you had someone was born in, came up and born around the heathens, and they were taking on the heathen ways, being Romans and Greeks and taking on Romans and Greek customs and things like that, or wherever they were scattered to among the heathen nations, the Israelite foreigners. But at the end of the day, the people back then, they knew who they were. Because today, we know, we just know we were black, so-called. They black, nigga, Negro, African-American, color, everything they call us, right? So, like I said, the people in the ancient time, they actually knew more who they were back then than we did today. So, but in order for you got to be cut off as a nation and don't remember your name. So they mean you got to be, the Israelites gonna be somewhere on the earth. They were gonna forget everything what the Lord set them up, everything the Lord set them up to be and represent. It was gonna be cut off. The Israelites, the name, the how we move, the culture. They shut all that off. But it say, for they have consulted together with one consent, they came together on the agreement on how what they were gonna do. And if it name it say, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Confederate against thee. It say the tabernacles of Edom, so-called white man, red man. What I just showed on that picture, the tabernacle of Edom. Right. This is Edom, the white man, right? Esau, red man, right? It say, and the Ishmaelites, all right, the Ishmaelites, the Arab, the so-called Muslim, and Arab, and in Muslim, it's an Arab religion, right? You see that? Islamic woman, right? And it say Moab. I ain't got no picture with Moab, but I got a video with a Moab saying how the Chinese folk, how the Chinese don't like so-called the black people either, man, and saying how they come over here and get all kind of loan stuff, and the Negroes don't get that, and they stay over here already. See, there ain't nobody dealing with you. Dealing with the Israelite. They say, and the Hagarenes, which the Hagarenes and Cabal, those are Hamites, all right? Where it is, Shlaki? Right there, Hamites, African. So you see all these different nations of these people I just showed you in the Bible, and they all came together. You see how they doing you, treating, cut you off from being a nation. Start from the verse 6 again. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, of Moab, the Chinese, and the Hagarenes, African, Cabal, Africans, and Ammon, Japanese, and Amalek, Edomites, white man, red man again, the Philistines, Africans, and with the inhabitants of Tyre. So all the African tribes and nations, and the Edomites and the Ishmaelites, the Arab nation, all these folk came together, man. You can't forget about the East Indian too. You can't forget about them. But all these nations gonna have us in captivity, right? Cut us off from being a nation. And they just show you that these folks are not dealing with you. So it makes sense what he's saying, but you can go back and also prove it with the Bible. They just showed that the Lord don't love everybody. Because all these people who we just named, who cut off from being a nation, is an enemy to the Israelites. So what? They enemy to what? YAHAWAH by Yahawashi. Right? And I'm going to read this real quick. Damn, if it let me. All right, it's from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Right? Because we just read it on Exodus 4. It said, let us cut, Shalaki, in Exodus 4, the Lord said he put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel. This the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It say Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race, not the Negroes, but the Egyptian, Ethiopian, Libyans, and Canaanites. So then it's another one that went on. So and it was reading, when I read that one, it was like, so if he not the father of the Negroes, who are the Negroes? So right. So who are the Negroes then? If Ham is the progenitor, the father of the dark race, but not the Negroes, well, like that, who the father of the Negroes? They show because what? Who they come from? They come from Shem. From Shem, line all the way down from where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Isaac, the seed should be called, rapid paraphrasing. So yeah, they just proved the point right there. So that's why they don't get along with you, because they are enemy to you according to the Bible. Right? Right in that back. Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons who lived through the flood, became the progenitor of the dark race, not the Negroes, but the Egyptian, Ethiopian, Libyans, Canaanites. All right? And yeah, and that's all I want to make, man, that these folks not dealing with you like that. And I'm going to play the video one more time, and I'm going to close it out. That's why you got that's why that hostility so high between the Israelites and the Hamites and the Edomites, because they don't like you. As a nation, as a whole, really. You might have some Edomites you feel like they are, yeah. But anyway, dealing with the nation, according to the Bible, they are enemies to the Israelites, to us, so-called Negro, Native American Indians, so-called Spanish.
We have this conversation a lot with Africans or even just Caribbean people who will often look down on Black Americans. Number one, they will say they lazy, they ghetto. I've heard African parents tell their kids not to date African American men, not to marry them, things of that nature. What are some negative stereotypes y'all heard about Black Americans from your parents, from your friends?
You literally said it all.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
And he everything he said about the Negro, how the parent about the Arab, that they this and they that. He like, what y'all say about it? He like, shit. She said, you said it all. So these folks sit back and tell their children, they be in your face, hey, baby, they be all in your face talking. The Hamites, when you probably run across them like everything cool, but the Ham nigga, they telling their children, don't deal with you. Just like the Edomites, the white man, red man, say the same shit. Cause they all don't like you.
my mom would tell me not to marry that.
Yeah.
See, she said, my mama tell me not to marry any African American. Negroes. Man, we the most superior nation on the earth. The Lord just brought us down low, man. The kings and priests of the earth. We just in the Lord's state right now. But the Lord gonna return that. We're gonna be out of glory now for a minute. You know, Lord, when I'm part of the number, the other brother part of the number who teach the truth 100%. It'll Apostle Great Millstone long down to the affiliates.
He says it all the time.
Even when I hear like African parents say that, it very much sounds like the same rhetoric that a white person would tell their kids. Like, don't marry that black.
They say it sound like the same thing a white person tell their kids.
Guy, like, he's ratchet, they ghetto. It's crazy to hear other Black people have that type of rhetoric towards you. I do have to.
All right, and I'm finna close out, and I just want to say one more thing. And we Hebrew Israelites, not Black Hebrew Israelites, because a lot of folks quick to throw their title on there. The Israelites are gonna be scattered among all nations. So all them pictures I just showed with these different nations, you're gonna have Israelites that look like these other nations. Lord said his seed is like a speckled bird, different varieties of colors. All right, so you're gonna have Israelites, they gonna look like Hamites, but bloodline go back to Israelite, because the seed go by the father. You are what your father are. So if you got an Israelite man pop an African woman, that baby gonna be an Israelite. If a Israelite man pop a Chinese, Japanese, and that baby come out looking like a full Chinese, Japanese, don't look nothing like the Israelite man, that baby still be an Israelite. If an Israelite man pop a so-called white woman, red woman, or Edomite, and that baby come out look like a full white person, look like the Israelite man had nothing to do with it, that baby still would be an Israelite. So it's not a color thing, it's a seed line thing. And I notice when a lot of folk be talking, they run across IUIC a lot. And it seems like they have they be having the ministry goddamn be on blame for a lot of stuff they be saying out there, and they just think when they see IUIC, they just think what they say and teach that we all go with it, but we don't. But you know, but that's all, man. I want to make that point. So with all that, I'm gonna close out by saying Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi. With that, I'm gonna say Shalom, and I hope that we edify.